If letting go feels impossible, even after time passes, this video explains exactly why your mind refuses to release. You're not weak, broken, or obsessed. Your system is simply stuck in survival mode. Emotional attachment without closure hurts more because the mind keeps searching for an ending that never arrived. This endless loop creates pain, confusion, hope, regret, and emotional exhaustion over time. The problem is not love itself, but the unresolved emotional energy stored inside your body. Most people try to fix this using logic, messages, or explanations, and it fails. Because attachment does not live in thoughts, it lives deeper inside the nervous system and energy body. Spiritual traditions understood this long before modern psychology named attachment patterns. They taught the release happens through safety, grounding, and inner separation, not confrontation. Once you understand this, breaking attachment without closure becomes possible and deeply freeing. What keeps emotional attachment alive is the nervous system interpreting emotional loss as an ongoing threat. When someone disappears without closure, the body experiences it as danger rather than emotional sadness. This keeps your system alert, constantly scanning memories, thoughts, and meanings in search of emotional safety. The mind enters a loop, repeatedly asking questions that the nervous system cannot resolve. The pain continues not because of love, but because your system never received a signal to relax. That is why explanations, logic, messages, or final conversations usually fail to bring real relief. They address the thinking mind, while attachment lives deeper within the nervous system and body. Until the body feels safe again, emotional attachment continues automatically, without conscious choice. The modern psychology calls it the attachment patterns, and ancient spiritual traditions understood this process long time before itself. They taught that healing begins by restoring inner safety, not by forcing emotional detachment. The first step is not detachment, but teaching your body that it is safe now. When the body feels unsafe, it clings emotionally, even when the relationship has already ended. Safety must be restored physically, not intellectually, because attachment operates beneath conscious thought. Begin by sitting quietly and placing one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. Slow, steady breathing sends a powerful signal of safety directly into the nervous system. This is not meditation, it is regulation, teaching the body it no longer needs emotional attachment. Practice this daily until emotional urgency softens naturally, without forcing yourself to forget anyone. As safety returns, the mind gradually stops obsessing and searching for explanations or closure. This explains why forcing detachment too early often strengthens attachment instead of releasing it. Spiritual healing always works bottom up, calming the body first before changing thoughts or beliefs. Attachment continues because your energy remains unconsciously linked to the other person. These energetic links form during emotional bonding, vulnerability, intimacy, and repeated emotional dependence. Even when physical contact ends, these energy connections continue operating silently inside your system. That is why memories appear suddenly and emotions rise unexpectedly, delaying the healing process. Spiritual separation means gently reclaiming your energy, not cutting cords aggressively or forcing emotional shutdown. Sit calmly and imagine your energy returning to you naturally, without blame, without anger, and without resistance. At the same time, allow their energy to return to them peacefully, without attachment or resentment. This restores energetic boundaries and reduces emotional pull without creating inner conflict or suppression. Practice this regularly until emotional reactions soften and thoughts lose urgency and intensity. This works because it respects the nervous system, emotions, and spiritual energy simultaneously. Most attachment is not about the past, but about a future you imagined with them. The mind replays what could have been, creating emotional pain in the present moment. Spiritually, imagination is powerful, but attachment turns imagination into ongoing emotional suffering. To release attachment, you must consciously end the imagined future, not the real past. Close your eyes and picture those future scenes slowly fading into neutral, peaceful light. Thank those imagined moments for their lessons, then release them gently without regret. This removes emotional hunger because the mind no longer waits for something unreal. Attachment weakens naturally, without forcing yourself to move on before your system is ready. This step dissolves hope-based suffering, while preserving memories, respect, and emotional integrity. Once the future fantasy ends, emotional freedom begins quietly inside you. At a deeper level, attachment survives because part of your identity merged with theirs. You may feel incomplete now because you forgot who you were before the attachment. Spiritual detachment means reclaiming your identity, not rejecting or erasing another person. Sit quietly and affirm inwardly, I return fully to myself, with peace and respect. Feel your energy collecting inward, becoming whole, steady, and emotionally independent again. This repairs identity fragmentation caused by emotional dependence, abandonment, or unfinished emotional stories. As identity strengthens, emotional detachment weakens naturally, without resistance or inner conflict. You no longer seek closure because your sense of self is complete internally. This is true freedom, not needing explanations, apologies, or endings to feel whole. Now the emotional bond dissolves peacefully, without bitterness, longing, or unresolved tension. At this stage, you realize closure was never missing. It was simply misplaced. You were taught another person must end the story, but stories end within you. Closure is not a conversation, it is the nervous system returning to calm safety. When safety, energy, identity, and imagination are restored, attachment has nothing left to hold. You stop checking messages, memories soften naturally, and emotional silence feels peaceful. This is not forgetting them, it is remembering yourself more clearly than ever before. Spiritual freedom feels quiet, grounded, stable, and surprisingly ordinary, not dramatic or overwhelming. This is why forcing closure fails, but inner completion permanently ends emotional attachment. Once you experience this, you stop chasing people, explanations, and emotional endings. You move forward whole, calm, unattached, knowing no one else ever needed to free yourself.